today I'm going to be talking about some of the worst advice that I have heard my love addiction clients receive. Not only things that I would just disagree with, but things that I feel would reinforce the problems of love addiction that will continue to highlight and re traumatize you as you heal on this healing journey and should be the things that you avoid at all costs. So I recently had a conversation with someone where they were telling me how before we started working together, they were in a relationship with someone who had been consistently cheating on them. And so as a result, this person had trust issues, whether or not it was wanting to know what's going on in their phone or constantly asking about who this person was and why they around and all this stuff. And so their partner, who was consistently being unfaithful, kept coming back with things like, "You need to trust me. You need to stop being so crazy. You need to stop and insinuating things, and you just need to calm down. And until you calm down, I cannot be in this committed partnership with you." And their person at the time that was helping them through this issues, their professional that was helping them, leaned in to what the deceptive partner was saying. This person leaned in to saying, "Well, they're saying that you need to work on your jealousy and then maybe they'll be more open. So let's look at you. Let's look at your part in this." And I was flabbergasted. I was like, this person that is actively cheating on you, who has been cheating on you maybe from day one, your person, your professional was telling you to not be jealous. The person was saying that maybe the reason that this person is acting out is you're jealous. I I still, y'all, I do not have the words to say how wrong that is. I'm trying not to use the word crazy or insane, but are we in the twilight zone? Where are we? And just to be clear, for those of you who are, let's give the person a benefit of a doubt, and maybe that's not what they were saying. No, this person was not saying, hey, some of your behavior can be erratic and it can be relationship destroying. Let's work on your reactions for your own betterment. This person was literally saying, this person is being unfaithful and cheating on you and doing all these things and treating you like crap because of how you act. And if you scale back and if you stop questioning them and basically enable their bad behavior, then maybe this person will change. Specifically, blaming her for his bad behavior, making her responsible for it. Here's the thing that I want to be very clear about: emotions are not bad. Emotions are not bad at all. Emotions are needed. They communicate information to us. They are part of us processing in the world. We should never villainize anger or greed or envy or jealousy or rage or happiness or horniness or whatever it is that we're feeling. We are human beings. We are complex and we can and will feel a variety of emotions. What is therapeutically appropriate and what does make sense is to assess the situation to see, okay, this is the emotion that I'm feeling. Based on the facts and what's going on, does it fit the scenario? Does it actually make sense? Right? If not, maybe I can start to practice having different responses to things, not because emotions are bad, because if I get angry because someone came and punched me in the face, that is an appropriate reaction because it fits the scenario. Someone came and harmed me. Someone came and put me into physical danger. Anger matches the situation. Joy would not match the situation. Happiness would not match the situation. So when we start to play these politics with emotions and villainizing them and not listening to what they're trying to tell us, that's the problem. Jealousy fits the situation if someone is impacting and taking away a resource that belongs to you, when what belongs to you is legitimately threatened. So this is not a scenario where she thought this person may have been cheating. This is not a scenario where some past things that have happened in other relationships have been affecting her and this person who was very clearly committed to her, honest, open, transparent, vulnerable. None of these things were happening. This person was actively stringing her along on the side while being in connections with other people and then telling her, don't be jealous. And her person at the time co-signed, "Yeah, maybe you need to work on your jealousy and be more calm and be more pleasant and be more open and be more softer." And then maybe what he says that he is open to doing, being more committed and faithful to you, maybe that will magically happen. Y'all, 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 y'all. Here's the message that I would want both sides to take from this. First, love addiction is very real. What is real about this in this scenario that I think people who listen to this podcast and who have gotten a lot from this podcast will understand is that your connection to someone who you're trauma bonded with defies logic. That if this was just about breaking down, well, this person is cheating on you, or this is what's happening, or they called you out your name, or they have disappeared for this amount of time, or they stole them from you, or your family hates them, or your kid hates them. If it was enough to lay out the facts of what's going on, then I wouldn't be here. We wouldn't exist here. Love addiction is not about logic. It is about what does this person represent, the deep childhood trauma, emotional neglect, whatever has led up to this point to where the actions and the lack of action by this person is not only normal to this person, but is something that they are willing to accept. Love addiction is about deep trauma work. And that means also that love addicts are going to be attracted to people who are not good people for them. They're not. They're not. I'm not saying that they're bad people. I'm saying that the people that they are attracted to at the stage of the life that they are in are not good for them and will continue to traumatize them unless a light is shined on what's going on. So this is where we get into the place where two things can be true. And this is where a lot of the people that I work with, a lot of women that I work with get tripped up as well. Because what they will say in the face of someone who is emotionally neglecting them, harming them, deceiving them, not treating them in the way that they deserve, being unavailable, just giving off red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag over and over and over and over again, is they will say something to the effect of, "Well, I'm not perfect either. I get angry. I get jealous. I've cursed them out too. I've done whatever it may be. I've had my selfish moments." And two things can be true, that you are an imperfect person, and also the level of disrespect that this person is giving you does not match. You're in a kiddie pool and this person is swimming in the deep, right? Also, what's also very important about this dynamic when these women are listening to me the ways that they're imperfect, it is always in response to the trauma that has just happened to them. Sometimes I get angry and I yell. When did you get angry? When did you yell? Or after he had been lying to me for multiple weeks about who this person was, and then I walked into the restaurant and I saw him sitting across from her. That's when I was yelling at him. Okay, so there are active triggers and active things that are happening that are clearly emotionally disruptive to you and harmful to you. And this person continue to gaslight you and egg it on and deceive you and keep you stuck and then flaunt this person in front of your face. And that's when you yelled. Does that not match the scenario? What is the scenario that should have happened? That you see the person that you love sitting across from somebody else after you've been asking them about them, and they've been lying and lying and lying, and you see them sitting in a restaurant. Are you supposed to, in your body? I know that there are different people who are very much don't give that person any type of response at all. That's not what I'm getting at. I'm talking about the emotions that you feel. You are supposed to see that happen, and then what? Feel what on the inside? Sunshine and rainbows? You're supposed to be filled with bliss and peace? No, anger matches the scenario. It fits. It's right. It's appropriate, right? Another emotion that I felt that I have a hard time with is I'm really anxious and it's really hard for me to just trust my partner and be confident and chill. Okay, well, when was the last time that you were really anxious in relationship with your partner? Well, I kept trying to talk to him about my day and he kept blowing me off and looking at his phone. And when I asked him, could we just have a few moments just to connect? Because I really need to talk to him. He looked at me and said, "God, you're so needy," and rolled his eyes. And then he turned at me and kind of looked stone faced and upset that I had interrupted him. But by that point, I just couldn't talk to him. And so I keep asking for these things, but I can't show up when he tries. So this person emotionally, sorry. So this person shamed you for having needs, actively was stonewalling you, withdrawing affection from you, was looking at you with maybe signs of disgust or irritation. And by the point that you have been asking for so long for someone to be emotionally available to you, which probably was a part of your childhood trauma and relational trauma, this person was reenacting some of the deepest, hardest moments of your life that you tried to ask for emotional connection and support. After he had been doing that, he then turns to you and gives you that response, and now you're in a freeze response. Your nervous system shuts down because that's so traumatic to you. And and you feel shame that your nervous system shut down because of what this person was doing and how they were showing up for you. So I'm going to repeat what I want us to take away from this again. Sometimes love addicts are in relationships with people who are bad for them. And there's no amount of remedial couples connection support that we can give that's going to fix that because we have a party in this dynamic that is unwilling and unable or not wanting to change. And the worst thing that we can do is lay into this fact that if you change and if you're a good, perfect princess, then you're going to make this person who has not been open to liking and loving you and respecting you from the beginning, getting them to transition and change. What gets mixed up with this is that along the course of the relationship, and even the healthiest of couples, as you're growing and changing, going through stages and children and all this stuff, yeah, you can outgrow the ways that y'all communicated before. There can be a lot of misconnection. There needs and may require a lot of work to either get y'all back to how you were before or to define what is the new stage that y'all are in now. With couples where there's a firm foundation and emotional availability on both parts, if we're with someone who's not available, there's no amount of magic and trickery that we can do unless we want to continue to be in a relationship with someone that we have to trick them and contort and perform to get them to be who we want them to be. And even then, the string is so fragile. What happens when we're tired of that? What happens when it gets old? What happens when someone newer, shinier, younger, fatter, skinnier, thicker walks in front of them? If it's so fragile to where their desire to be committed in our relationship and to invest in us is based on my behavior. You know what I'm saying? So that is advice that I would not encourage you to do, which would look like discounting all the evidence that shows that this person might not be the right fit for them. If you want to know, for those of you who are professionals and want to know what I would suggest or do with my clients after that, please check out my upcoming certification where I'm going to be walking through all of these things and all of these cases and what the stages of healing are for women in this process, what the best practices are. You can go to blackgirlsheal.org/professionals to join the waitlist. Or if it is open, feel free to join me if you're listening to this at that time. And then if you are a person who's in recovery from love addiction, wants to be in recovery from love addiction, have some ongoing childhood trauma that's been showing up in your relationships, and you appreciate the things I've shared today, please check me out in the BGH method. That is my signature program to help women heal. Again, if you have been listening to this podcast and you've heard me talk about the recovery school, this is taking the place of the recovery school as the signature way that I'm helping women heal in this season and this stage of our development. So that's it from now. I'm sending you all so much love, and I will see you in the next one. As always, take care of yourselves.